Oh my gosh, guys. It's finally here. If you didn't hear the other podcast when we announced it, the Wealth Habits audiobook is available on Audible, and it's already hit #1 on multiple lists for bestseller and new release and all those things. So I just wanted to thank all of you for your continued support of the book. If you read the book, you love the book, please go on to Amazon and leave a 5-star review with your biggest takeaway, why you recommend the book, so that we can get it out to more people and change more financial futures for those who need it and deserve it. So thank you so much. It's now available. Go check it out on Audible. Welcome to Generation Wealth. I'm Candy Valentino, and I've been building businesses and generating wealth before I could legally order a drink. For more than 2 decades, I've built, scaled, acquired, and exited businesses, all while investing in real estate and building financial freedom. Now I want to help you expand your wealth and give you the proven roadmap to implement today. It doesn't matter if you're a part of Generation X, Generation Y, or Gen Z. It is time to join Generation Wealth. Now let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Generation Wealth, your podcast for all things building wealth, from businesses to real estate investing. We're breaking it down every single week so that we can provide some dividends into your family and your bank account. So this week, we wanted to break down a little bit about the science of money. You know, we share a lot on this podcast about all of the tactics, all the strategies, all the things you need to do, but there is a science behind money, and it may not be what you think. And that's what this episode is all about. You know, I am a product of books like Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big. And so although my environment when I was younger did not allude to the fact that money was abundant and we could do whatever we wanted and we could build whatever we wanted and we can make as much as we wanted, I didn't really have that as a perception of life. However, through books and through understanding the science of money and what your thoughts and beliefs need to be in order for you to get there, it was really a pivotal part of me understanding what was available and the abundant world that we live in. So I want to talk a little bit about just how your mentality, how your thoughts really shape your view of money and how that actually shapes your actual financial situation. I think it was Jim Rohn that said the original quote that you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with, which is just so important to realize that your circle of friends can even influence your habits, your life, your bank account. This can also apply to finances. And if you're hanging out with people who maybe live beyond their means, or they don't invest, or they're not focused on saving less and they spend more than they make, then you may very well end up adopting some of these behaviors. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the science behind how finances work and how the money that you have is directly related to something other than what you might think. Because here's the reality. Our bank account, our business, our relationship, whatever it is that you're looking to grow, your level of life cannot grow without you growing, without your beliefs, your vantage point, your perspective, your knowledge, your habits. All of those things need to grow in order for that goal to grow as big as you want. Part of growing your bank account or your business is going to require you to adopt a bigger mindset, to change some of your beliefs and to perhaps develop some new habits, because the negative emotions that people carry around money, which oftentimes are either caught, they're not taught by somebody else, they're caught by the environment that they lived in, that it's an unconscious cycle that no matter how many wealth habits you practice or how many new things you learn, if you don't first fix that negative, you're going to keep coming back to those hardwired emotions, thoughts, and feelings about money. And that is what's going to ultimately sabotage your efforts. Without having self-awareness and really understanding where those patterns come from, that subconscious wiring will eventually override your conscious desires and your rational thinking and all of the discipline that you have. Those old thoughts and beliefs that aren't serving you, they will end up driving your actions, your behaviors. And so it's really important to understand that your bank account, your business, your goals, what your life, whatever it is that you want, is only going to grow at the rate of which you grow. So what are you currently doing to grow your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings about that which you want to acquire? The second step is identifying these negative thoughts, negative emotions, the the associations that you may have and changing them, and understanding that there is no shame, no guilt in having any of these negative emotions, because it's something that we typically caught from some environment when we were young, and it's been now wired into our psyche. But it has to be addressed so it doesn't create a vicious, unconscious cycle. A lot of times these fears, you might not think they are negative or that there's some negative emotion that you have, but it could trip up as something else. It could show up as something else. It could be like not having enough, looking stupid, appearing greedy, feeling exposed, or just having guilt because of maybe the level of money that you don't have or do have, because there is guilt on both sides. You might feel guilty because you have more than your friends, or perhaps guilty that maybe your money came too easily. But regardless of what that negative emotion is that you've learned, the truth is that money just magnifies who a person is. It magnifies their virtues. It magnifies their flaws. So if you're a good person and you make more money, you're just going to do more good with it. And if you're a jerk and you have more money, unfortunately, you're just going to be a bigger jerk. That's the way money and the ego works. The goal is simply to identify the beliefs and see if they're actually giving you the financial future that you want. And if they aren't, it's time to change them. And if you haven't read Wealth Habits, I have a whole quiz in the first part of the book that goes through all of the negative emotions, thoughts, beliefs that you may not even realize that you have about money and what you need to do to break them. And the third step is to confront change head on. Look, the only way, I don't care if you're looking to change your bank account, your business, your relationship, or the number on the scale, the only way to break the pattern of avoiding something, like you're avoiding to go to the gym, you're avoiding that difficult conversation with a client or with an employee, you're avoiding reviewing your numbers and your bank accounts because you have all this bad debt. The only way to break through is to go through the problem, is to hit it head on. When you hit something head on, of course, your anxiety and your anxiousness is going to temporarily increase because you're doing something that you don't want to do. But I promise you, if you stay with it, if you develop the discipline and the habit to always confront challenges head on, you will then start to love and learn to grow and thrive outside of your comfort zone as opposed to staying in it. That anxiety that you feel in the beginning will actually steadily decline. So it's tolerating that short-term pain to achieve the long-term vision that you want for your life. And look, I know that you are stronger than the whims of your brain. So know that. Control your brain. Don't let it control you. And the fourth step is on how to rewire the brain and choose a different script so that we can have the junk that's floating around in our mind actually help us and not hurt us from what we want to accomplish. And here's the facts. Like, your brain was not wired for success. Your brain was not wired for wealth. Your brain was not wired to have these audacious goals. Your brain was wired for protection. But you do get to choice. You do get to choose how to rewire your brain and to choose a different script. And not figuratively, literally. The most of the neurons in our brain, they've been with us since birth, and age does take a toll, but our brains do make new neurons. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to form and reorganize connections between neurons in response to new experiences, new knowledge, new learning. And studies have shown that our attitudes, our beliefs about money are often shaped by our experiences, our upbringings, the messages that we receive from society. And by changing the way that we think, the way that we view and our emotions about money, we can actually rewire our brains and create those new pathways that will support our financial goals. Okay, so let's say you got to this point in the podcast. You're like, okay, Candy, I believe. Now tell me how to do it. I've obviously not got the results that I want in my business or in my bank account, and I'm willing to do it. Let's try to change this. What do we do? Well, one effective way to rewire your brain is to verbally tell it a different story. And how do you do that before it becomes real? You can do it through affirmations. Look, and I'm not the person, again, that tells you to sit on the couch and just repeat a bunch of the stuff and you're going to be rich and have everything that you ever want. It doesn't work that way. You need both. You need to visualize, you need to affirm it, you need to rewire, but you also have to do the action, right? You can't visualize a better life and have these affirmations that I am wealthy, I am financially secure, I am a money magnet, and then just go spend all the time and live beyond your means. It doesn't work like that. But if you do the action, and you do affirmations and visualization and goals and planning, and you do all this other stuff, and you help your brain to rewire it to attitudes and beliefs that are going to help you get closer to your goals, and accelerant to get you there faster. So one way is through affirmations, reminding yourself of what is true. The second is through visualization. It's a powerful tool that can really help you visualize and bring those financial goals to you more quickly. We did an episode on this already that talked about it in depth. You can go back and listen to that. We talked about how Oprah and Steve Harvey and Ellen and so many Olympians and pro athletes have used visualizing that end game, that championship, and how that helps your brain focus on more positive outcomes, which increases your desire to take action and steps towards that end result. And the third is remembering that everything that you desire, every goal that you have, every prayer that you're praying is actually too small. Hear me out. The reason is because you're using your past mistakes, your past experiences, your past thoughts as a reference point to what's possible. Hear that again. Every goal, every dream, every desire, every prayer that you have right now is too small because what you want at this point, you're using your past as a reference point as opposed to what is possible. Just like your attitude and your belief right now isn't set in stone, your life, what you have in your bank account, what you have at home, what you have in the garage, what you have in your relationships, none of that is set in stone either. But until we release the hold that the past has on us, we will never be able to step into the future with freedom. We can rewire our brains. We can choose a different script. And by remembering that you can have the affirmations and the visualizations and all of the things right, but if you are stuck in the past, if you have shame and guilt about what you have or have not done, you will not get to where you're going. Whatever it is that you're struggling with right now, whatever it is that you want to achieve, I just want this to be a little reminder. And I know I'm going off topic of what I normally talk about on podcasts, but I just want this to be a reminder that right here today, when you heard this, that whatever it is that you are facing right now, whatever challenge that you've got going on that you think is preventing you from the next thing, that fear is what's keeping you here. And when you take the motivation and the inspiration and you couple it with actual knowledge and you have discipline and you make the decision to take action, my friend, anything is possible for you in your life. All right, that's all for today's episode. I am cheering you on, and I will see you back here next week. Take care. And don't forget that if you didn't buy a copy yet of Wealth Habits, it is now available on Audible. And thank you so much for all of your support because we are #1 bestseller, new release in multiple categories. And of course, if you already have a copy of the book and downloaded it and listened to the book, please consider leaving a 5-star review over on Amazon. It would mean the world to me, as well as many other readers that need this information. Okay, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you next time on Generation Wealth.